Today we're going to be discussing hand washing, sterile gloves, and opening a sterile package. The first thing we have to remember is that hand washing is absolutely critical in the clinical setting. You need to wash your hands before and after you touch a patient, and before and after you do any kind of lab work in the laboratory. Always wash your hands before leaving the lab. So let's get started. In your book, on pages 48 and 49, are detailed instructions on how to wash your hands. But today I'm going to demonstrate it for you as well, so that you will be able to see exactly how this is done. The first thing we want to talk about is that in the clinical setting, you should not wear excessive jewelry. You should not wear lots of rings because bacteria gets caught in the crevices of the ring. The only thing that you need to wear would be your wedding band and your watch and possibly a simple bracelet. When we get ready to wash our hands, the first thing we want to do is use a paper towel and turn on the water. We want to let the water get warm, but not hot, before we wet our hands. And then we want to wet our hands. Always keep your hands in a downward motion. Let me also say that you should stand far enough away from the sink that your clothes do not touch the sink. You want to use 2 squirts, about a quarter's worth of soap. And then you want to wash your hands in between each finger for at least 15 seconds, up to 30 seconds. People have said you can sing happy birthday, and if you sing happy birthday, that is about 15 seconds. Then you want to clean under each of your nails. You want to scrub your wrist. Always keep your hands downward, so you never want to raise your hands above your elbows because the dirty water would flow back to your elbows. Then when you rinse, hands should be in a downward position. Till all the soap is gone. Pick up 2 paper towels and then dry your hands, starting from the wrist and moving down to the fingers. If you need another paper towel to completely get the water off your hands, that is also correct. Remember, paper towels from washing your hands do not go into the biohazard, but goes into the regular trash. Make sure that your hands are completely dry, and then discard them in the waste basket, the trash, not the biohazard, but into the regular trash. Then you take another paper towel and turn off the water. Remember never to turn off a faucet with your clean hand because you don't want to contaminate your hand. And now you have washed your hands. Now that your hands are washed, we're ready to open a sterile package. You remove the sterile package from its container. There are a few things we have to remember about the sterile field. You cannot contaminate anything in this field. When you open your package, you have to remember there's only 1 inch around the outside edges of this package that your fingers can actually touch. And your hands can never cross the sterile field. Let me demonstrate. When we get ready to open the package, we want to open it this way. Notice my arm is not going across the sterile field that I have just opened. and my fingers are only within 1 inch of the edge of the package. Then I want to reach up and get this one and pull it down. We never have our hands that cross this area. If we reach across this area, the sterile field is broken. And if you cross this area during your check-off, it will be counted as a breaking the sterile field. So your hands can never cross the sterile field. They have to be on the outside. We have washed our hands. We have opened our sterile package. Now to enter inside that sterile package, we have to put on sterile gloves. And here are your gloves. The first thing we have to do is to open our sterile gloves. First thing we're going to do is to peel open our package. That will reveal our sterile gloves. Again, we're going to open this like the sterile package. Notice that the cuff end is toward me. It will tell you. I'm going to open it up, and notice on the inside it says the left hand and the right hand. So I will know that these are facing in the right direction. I'm going to open this. Again, we cannot break the sterile field, but I want to bend this back so it doesn't refold on me. Then I'm going to slip my fingers under these and open them up. Now this reveals the sterile gloves. When I go to put the gloves on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my right hand. I'm going to touch this part because that's going to go against my skin. Then I'm going to slip my hand into the gloves, like so. Now I cannot take this left hand and touch the right hand at all because this glove is now sterile. This hand is now sterile. I can reach over here. What I want to do is to put my hand under the cuff, because once I start putting this hand in, I have to be very careful not to let this thumb touch anything on the other hand. Can this hand touch this glove? Yes, because they're both sterile. Now I have sterile gloves. My hands are sterile, and I can come over and touch my sterile objects inside my sterile field. When I complete my procedure, whatever it is, I'm ready to take off my gloves. When I take off my gloves, the reverse is true from what it was before. Now my gloves are considered dirty and my body is considered clean. So I want to pick up my glove here in the middle of the palm, pull off the glove into this hand, put the glove into the palm of my right hand. Then I want to take my fingers, slip it underneath the cuff, and pull that off till the dirty side is on the inside. Now I have a package that I can throw away that is considered dirty on the inside. And if you have gotten blood or body fluids on these, they will go into the biohazard. There There are many times that we don't need sterile gloves. We just need non-sterile gloves to protect our hands. Non-sterile gloves are found all over the hospital and the laboratory, and anytime you're touching a patient in a non-sterile procedure, you definitely want to wear gloves. I'm going to choose 2 gloves from the box. Always choose the right size for you. These gloves are different than our sterile gloves because there's no right hand or left hand. Either hand will fit either hand. So you just pull out the gloves and you're ready to put them on. Notice I'm touching them, and that's fine because I have washed my hands are clean, and these are not sterile gloves. So what I'm going to do is when I put them on, just make sure the thumb is to the outside, and I put my hands in the gloves. I can touch this because why? It is not sterile. Then I can put the other glove on. I can do whatever procedure or lab test that needs to be done. I've protected my hands from any kind of body fluids. And now that I'm through doing the procedure, I'm going to take off my gloves, and I take them off in the same way. We call this glove to glove and skin to skin. And now you can take off your gloves. Now, if you don't have an enormous amount of contamination on these can go in the regular trash. And after you take off your gloves, before you leave the area, whether it's the laboratory or a patient's room, be sure to wash your hands.